Welcome to the Chinese electric car titan BYD is setting its sights far beyond its home turf, eyeing the South Korean market as a strategic gateway to the colossal automotive landscapes of the United States and Europe. This bold move surprises many, given the dominance of Hyundai and Kia in the Korean market and the generally lukewarm reception towards Chinese vehicles. However, BYD's vision is not merely focused on conquering the Korean market, but leveraging it as a crucial stepping stone. By contemplating the establishment of a sales network and possibly a production base on Korean soil, BYD is strategically positioning itself to circumvent hefty tariffs and navigate the complex geopolitical currents that have buffeted Chinese electric cars on the global stage. This initiative not only highlights BYD's global ambitions, but also underscores a transformative approach to international trade and manufacturing dynamics, potentially setting a new precedent for how companies might tackle global expansion in the face of rising economic nationalism and trade barriers. Chinese electric car giant BYD eyes Korean market as gateway to US and Europe. Surprisingly, the Chinese electric car company BYD has targeted the Korean market. Considering that the market size is not large and that Hyundai and Kia's market share exceeds 90%, this is unexpected, especially given the declining consumer preference for Chinese cars. The industry believes BYD's strategy is to use Korea as a stepping stone for exports to the US and Europe, rather than aiming for success in the Korean market. For this reason, the possibility of establishing a sales network and a production base in Korea is being considered. According to industry sources, on the 8th, BYD plans to discuss certification with the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy and the Ministry of Environment to sell electric passenger cars in Korea. They are hiring personnel for accreditation and have been steadily increasing their internal workforce since the end of last year. Despite rapidly expanding to become the top global electric car seller in the past 2 to 3 years, the Korean market only offers a few advantages for BYD. This is due to the electric car market's small size and Hyundai and Kia's high market share. Furthermore, BYD's primary use of LFP, lithium iron phosphate batteries for cost competitiveness, is a disadvantage in the Korean market. This is because the Ministry of Environment has revised the electric car subsidy system this year to provide less support for batteries with low recycling values. LFP batteries are a typical example of a battery with a low recycling value. If BYD's cars enter Korea, they will inevitably face a handicap regarding subsidies. Despite these challenges, BYD's entry into the Korean market is interpreted as a strategy targeting markets beyond Korea. The main goal is not to sell many vehicles to Korean consumers and make a profit. The likelihood of BYD using Korea as an export base is highly anticipated behind its entry into Korea. This is because major global countries, including the US and Europe, have raised tariff barriers on Chinese electric cars. The US imposes a tariff of 27.5% on Chinese electric cars, and Europe is also considering imposing additional tariffs on top of the existing 10%. On the other hand, Korea has free trade agreements, FTAs, with most countries in Europe and the US, allowing it to avoid tariff barriers. Given that BYD needs to continue its sales in the US and Europe, known as global automotive battlefields, Korea is considered attractive. Professor Kim Pil-soo of Daelim University's Automotive Engineering Department said, Korea has the most FTAs, and because BYD currently faces high tariffs in the US and Europe, there is a high possibility of using Korea as an export base. They can't sell in the large US market. The economic conflict between the US and China is likely BYD's biggest concern, and they may use Korea as a gateway. In response, it has been reported that BYD is looking for a site to produce or semi-assemble CKD vehicles in Korea in line with its entry into Korea. This is because they can only label their exports as made in Korea if they are produced domestically. Previously, Polestar, an electric car brand under China's Geely Group, also agreed to make the Polestar 4 for North American exports and Korean sales at the Renault Korea Busan factory by 2025. The industry predicts that BYD could purchase the old GM Gunsan factory or establish an electric car factory in North Chungcheong. An industry insider said they are considering establishing an electric car factory in North Chungcheong. The old GM Gunsan factory is also fully equipped and idle, so they could purchase and modify it. If their goal were domestic sales, they wouldn't have even considered production in Korea. If they produce in Korea, they can remove the Made in China label and alleviate concerns about quality. This is a significant advantage as domestic consumers still have considerable concern and resentment towards Chinese products. They can enhance their brand image by emphasizing that it's a Korean-made electric car. The same applies to exports. As Hyundai and Kia's global status has risen, global consumers' perceptions of Korean cars have also improved. Professor Kim said, "As Hyundai's global status has risen, a formula has emerged that models proven in the Korean market can succeed in the global market." From BYD's perspective, the benefits of producing in Korea are sufficient to overcome tariff barriers and the limitations of made in China. In conclusion, BYD's strategic pivot towards the Korean market underscores a nuanced and forward-thinking approach to global expansion, particularly in the electric vehicle sector. By aiming to establish a foothold in Korea, BYD is not just attempting to penetrate a new market, but is also seeking to harness Korea's strategic trade advantages and high-quality manufacturing capabilities to sidestep the challenges posed by international tariffs and consumer skepticism towards Chinese products. This move could significantly alter the landscape of the global electric vehicle market, offering BYD a competitive edge in the US and European markets, while also elevating Korea's role as a critical hub for electric vehicle production and export. As BYD navigates these complex geopolitical and economic currents, its efforts to adapt and innovate could provide valuable insights for other companies facing similar global market challenges, potentially heralding a new era in international manufacturing and trade strategies. Thank you for watching.